Hi class, we are now on 2.2b, conversions with volume. So volume is the space something occupies, and think of it as 3D. It's not flat. We are dealing with usually we are dealing with three measurements. And if we look at a cube here, we're dealing with height, length, and width. And each one of these has a unit. So we have to multiply those, and that's where this cube comes from. The word cubic. We, actually, I don't know if that's where it comes from, but that's how I relate it, is a 3. Cubic equals 3, so my units have to have 3 to it. So let's make sure you understand all of this. Length, if we look here, is centimeter. Area is centimeter times centimeter, which is length times width. And then volume is length times width times height. And that's where the 3 comes from. So a derived unit is formed from other units. So we start with length and we end up with volume. Length is one-dimensional, area is two-dimensional, so area is 2, so this would be squared. And area of a square or rectangle, length times width. Volume is three-dimensional, so 1, 2, 3. So that's why I relate 3 when we're dealing with volume. Anything which says cubic. The volume of a rectangular cube, length, width times height. So we're also, when we deal with volumes, we deal with certain units. We deal with liter, and the liter is also equal to 1 decimeter cubed. These are interchangeable. They are equal to each other. And a liter is, so a liter is defined as 1 cubic decimeter, which is approximately the volume of a tissue box or a large soft drink. 1 mil is the same volume as a cubic centimeter, and 1 mil is about the same volume as a standard game dice. So then, this gives you a kind of a visual of how much these are. Okay, so we can go on and expand. So again, a derived unit is formed from other units. Many units of volume is a measure of space. So think of 3D. It's taking up not just a flat surface. We're thinking about the whole surface that is the whole volume space that's occupied. Any unit of length, when cubed raised to the third power, becomes a unit of volume. Cubic meters, cubic centimeters, and cubic millimeters are all units of volume. We use cubic centimeters when dealing with density, and that is interchangeable with milliliters. That's where you can change the milliliter and the cubic centimeter. So if we look here, these are kind of trying to give you an idea visually. So we have volume. We're dealing with the space that it takes up. If we have a cube, which is a cubic meter, we have 1 meter on one side, 1 meter on the other, and 1 meter. So it's length times width times height. But it's all made up of these little cubes. If we take one of these cubes out, that's 1 decimeter, which is equal to 1 liter. If we take a cube out of all of this, that looks similar to this, that's where we get 1 centimeter cubed, which is equal to 1 mil. And if we look at that cube, it's 1 centimeter times 1 centimeter times 1 centimeter, which is what you see here. The cubic centimeter, abbreviated with the cm and a 3 superscript, is the volume of a cube whose dimensions are 1 centimeter on each side, which is what I just stated. A cubic centimeter has the same volume as a milliliter, and the units are often interchangeable. In fact, they are interchangeable. I tend to use mils over centimeter cubed, and then I move them right back because it's easier for me to understand what I'm doing. So 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 mil. 1,000 centimeters cubed is equal to 1,000 mils, which is equal to 1 liter. So these are where the units where students have a hard time remembering. I definitely think that if I say something that seems important or it's on the slide, make a note out of it. Or if you're printing these, because these are things that may come back when you're doing problems. How many cubic decimeters are in 1 cubic meter? Remember, when I see cubic, I think 3. So it has to have 3 measurements to it. So if we're looking at just length, 1 meter equals 10 decimeters, but we want cubes. So we have to cube these, parentheses 3, and then you can add this, you can cube this on your calculator, and it comes out to 1 meters cubed, 1,000 decimeters cubed. So you can see where it's just 1, which is length, but we multiply it 3 times, it gives it the 3-dimensional volume. And if we multiply it out, you can see what the actual number is. How many cubic centimeters are in 1 cubic meter? So 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. We cube this, and 1 meter cubed is 1 million centimeters cubed. So when we write that out, you can see the full number. All right, let's do some problems. A hospital administers, an IV fluid at a rate of 95.0 cubic centimeters per hour. How many liters of this fluid does this patient receive per day? So this is one I would definitely change that cubic centimeters to mils because it's easier for me to work with. So in this problem, you're actually expected to change it over because you got to have your answer in liters. So we know that 1 cubic centimeter equals 1 mil. 1,000 mils equals 1 liter. Therefore, 1,000 cubic centimeters equals 1 liter. I'm a little different. I would have just transferred it to mils because I'm more comfortable with it. But this is how they set up the problem. So I would have changed this to mils, and I would have done mils, and I would have done from there. But they want you to understand cubic centimeters here. So we start with 9.50 centimeters per hour. And that's what it says, 95.0 centimeters cubed per hour. Remember, this is one unit on top of the other. Times 1 liter equals 1,000 centimeters cubed. And then we have 24 hours in 1 day, which is what it's asking. How many liters of this fluid does the patient receive per day? So we want liters per day. So we cancel out the centimeters cubed. We cancel out the hour. That gives us liters per day. This is 3 units. This is exact. This is exact. So 3 sig figs. And our answer is 2.28 liters per day. All right, one more. Convert the size of a motorcycle engine reported as 1,255 centimeters cubed to cubic inches. So we start with, again, pull out what we start with. We have 1,255 cubic centimeters. We need to convert centimeters to inches. We have a perfect conversion, which is exact, even though they're 2 different measuring systems or counting systems, however you want to look at it, which is 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch, and cube both sides to obtain the conversion factor. So we set it up and we cube it, and we cube everything in it. So when we do that, we cube this, which gives us 16.387. We cube our units, we cube this, but this doesn't really change in this. So now we can set this up, which is, here's the map. We go from cubic centimeters to cubic inches. So we have 1,255 cubic centimeters. We use our conversion, our equality, which is 1 inch cubed on top over 16.387 cubic centimeters. And then we give our long calculated answer. So let's take a look at sig figs. We have 4 sig figs here. We have 5 sig figs here. And we have more than 5 sig figs here. We want 4 sig figs. So we cut it off here. We're dealing with the 5 or more, so we add in 1 to here. And our answer is 76.59 inches cubed.